YouTube. Stars of Yonko. So today I want to talk about a hypothetical matchup: Doflamingo versus Cracker. So I'm gonna preface this by saying, being completely honest, I went into this wanting Cracker to win. All right. So now that that's out of the way, let's talk about Gear Fourth. They both benefited from the time limit on Gear Fourth, so that should definitely be factored in. And the thing is, both of them could have been knocked out by Luffy if it hadn't been for that time limit. Doflamingo, he could have been taken out the first time. Cracker, he almost got taken out by I think it was a con gun from Luffy, but then the time limit, came in. With Doffy, Luffy had an easier time. He kind of, it was pretty obvious in the fight that that Luffy was stronger by a lot than Doffy. With Cracker, it started off with Cracker having the upper hand, but then after a while, Luffy kind of he evened the playing field. The hard thing, of course, were the biscuits. So that's really where Luffy had some trouble. But yeah, overall, Gear Fourth did do a lot of damage against them, and in fact, hadn't been the time for the time limit, both fights would have been a lot shorter. Another thing that I need to mention: Cracker could cut Luffy's arm in Gear Fourth. He almost did, and I don't think Doflamingo ever drew blood on Luffy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. One of the big things is Doflamingo had some serious pain tolerance, some serious stamina, some serious endurance. Take a look at Cracker. Luffy didn't hit him personally too many times, but when he did, it was like major hits. Whereas with Doflamingo, he took a Gamma Knife from Law. He blitzed how many attacks from Law? Then all the Gear Third and Gear Second attacks from Luffy. A Red Hawk. He took a lot of hits and he kept going. I think if Cracker would have taken half of those hits, he would not have stood back up. So when it comes to that, I'd say Doffy wins when it comes to stamina and endurance. I wish I could say something in Cracker's defense, but yeah, he's a few hits and he's going down. Let's talk about defense. Doffy's strings, they were his biggest defense. They were his, of course. He had good hockey, but Cracker, he stomps him. He was so much better. His biscuit soldiers were really tough to break. Then of course, there was a whole plot twist with Nami watering them down so Luffy could eat them. But still, before that, the biscuit soldiers were pretty insane. And like he said, it had been a while since anyone had broken through the biscuit warriors. So yeah, a while since the biscuit warriors had been destroyed. And I mean, he made how many? He made countless during the fight. He clocked out Luffy because of the time limit. Imagine him going against Doflamingo. I'm not sure how well Doflamingo would have been able to do against Cracker's defense. So with defense, I'm gonna have to give it to Cracker. I mean, I don't see how anyone could disagree. His biscuit soldiers are insane. I think Doffy would have had a hard time with them, especially since Luffy had a hard time with them. I think Doflamingo would have had. It would have been much harder for him to take out the biscuit soldiers than it was for Luffy, and that's saying something. Now, when it comes to offense, Cracker, his biscuit soldiers, they were more for defense. His pretzel strikes were pretty powerful, but Cracker's main thing was his defense. Whereas Doflamingo, his awakened powers, that gave Luffy some trouble. I mean, I wouldn't say it like put the victory in peril, but his awakened powers give him a larger area effect, since he could have made the whole seducing forest into strings, and Cracker wouldn't have been able to do the same. He could make a lot of biscuit soldiers, but I think Doffy, his his strings have a higher offensive power than the biscuit soldiers. Yeah, and I mean that awakening is a huge deal. That was the first Paramecia awakened the devil fruit that we saw, and yeah, that's a big deal. I would say, yeah, the awakened thing. Um, Shit. We saw how useful that was, not only during Doffy and Luffy's fight, but also with Katakuri. That, like I said, it increases the area effect. It just gives you so many more options offensively. So I mean, when it comes down to it, I would say that Cracker's defense is stronger than Doffy's, but Doffy's offense is stronger than Cracker's. Um, I actually really like Cracker as a character. Um, he, I really like that fight. I've rewatched it a few times, um, and I think it went well. How he was beaten, I appreciated that. Uh, the Tank Man stuffed version was pretty cool to watch. Um, but I mean, Doflamingo went through so many more. He got hit so many more times. He took so much more damage. His endurance was just a lot stronger. I think that would be the deciding factor. Honestly, Cracker has a better defense. Doflamingo has a more versatile offense. But I mean, Doflamingo, it took how many hits to take him down? It took. I mean, Law bore him down, and even then, Doflamingo was like, "My strings will just help me recover from this. It's not too big of a deal." I think a gamma knife to the chest would have probably taken out Cracker. Getting to his chest would have been difficult because of his biscuit soldiers. And Law's power isn't exactly straightforward. It's more about using his head. But yeah, that gamma knife, it did some damage to Doffy, but I think it would have knocked out Cracker. Cracker could defend himself all he wants. All Doflamingo would need is like one or two shots, one or two clean shots, and that the victory's in the bag. So, like I said, I really like Cracker as a character. I went into making this wanting him to win, but I mean, when I rewatch the fights, it's he's strong, but his main thing is his defense, because he does not want to get hit, and when he is hit, it it's a knockout. How many hits did Doflamingo take from Luffy's Gear 4? I think Doflamingo would win. Yeah. It would be hard, but I think he can get through Cracker's defenses. So I think it would be high diff, but I think I think Doflamingo would have won. Which personally I don't like, because I want the Yonko commanders to be stronger than the Shibukai. But damn, after rewatching this, I can't say that I think Cracker would have won. That's against a third commander. We never saw Smoothie. We haven't really seen Queen fight. Um, I think Curry would have low to low mid diff Doflamingo. But yeah, I think Doflamingo would have won against Cracker, which I'm really disappointed by. Um, I mean, his defense was just so good. But yeah, let me know what you think. Agree, disagree, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.